Our story starts in the Middle Ages, when a peasant's home was one room, and their whole house was the kitchen. It had a small fire at its centre, which was the only source of heat for cooking.
The technology here is really very simple. There's an oval-shaped half stone with ridges on it, a very smoky wood fire, and a little pot that stands on 3 legs and a wooden spoon. And you can see that actually it's very effective. That's why it lasted for so long, from the Saxons right through to the Tudors.
Kitchen supplies were totally seasonal, and peasants had to forage for whatever they could get. They were at the very bottom of the feudal system. The lord of the manor owned the land they lived on, including any food sources. The forest was the larder of the poor, but there were very strict rules to observe about what food you could take.
If I came into the woods as a serf, if I took a deer, I was poaching. But there were sort of nasty animals I could take, like hedgehogs. And I could also take some of the plants. This is all controlled by very strict rules, though. And I can't take any wood for my cooking fire off the floor of the forest. I can get it out of the trees. And this is possibly the explanation of the phrase, by hook or by crook. Peasants desperately seeking wood in the forest. They were allowed to take what they could get with their shepherd's crooks or their reaper's hooks.
Peasants burnt the foraged wood to avoid paying their landowner for fuel. They also had to give him a proportion of any food they grew, so their diet was really limited.
Maybe a bit of wheat, beans, things to make into bread. But if they had any animals, they wouldn't eat them, much too valuable. Animals would be kept for providing milk, for providing eggs, or for transport. And they cooked this stuff literally just here on a round half stone like this in the middle of their cottage, with the exception of the bread, because that had to be sent off to the baking oven of the lord of the manor. You couldn't bake your own bread in your own home. That was done collectively. And the easiest thing to cook in this situation is pottage, a pot into which you throw whatever's available. And particularly in hard times or famines, people would literally throw what they could get into there and keep it on the boil for day after day after day, so it became sort of everlasting soup. So all the best of medieval life is here, really. Food and light and company. And it just shows that the hearth is really the heart of the home.
While the peasant's kitchen would retain an open fire for hundreds of years, great technological advances were being made at the very top of society, where money and resources were plentiful.